everybody, it's me, Retrovin. I was gonna get to re-uploading the top 10 worst Jak II missions, but due to stuff that happened that I'm not gonna talk about anymore, because it's long over. Now, this is my sequel to that top 10 best Jak II missions, and this one is gonna be the top 10 worst missions. I'm redoing this because of a certain edit, and I got complaints about the previous one, so out of respect, I will not be using that original one. I was originally going to, but I decided, why not just redo it? And that's what we'll be doing here, so without further ado, let's get on with it. The first mission on our list is Protect Sig at the pumping station. Now, I know this may confuse some people because many people think, well, wait a minute, isn't this basically not a hard mission? And you'd be correct. The main point of this list is to highlight the worst missions of this game, not just the hardest ones. Now, this mission, debatably, even though I just died there, is not very hard of a mission. Is it annoying and a pain in the ass because every time you die it will start you back in the same area? Yes. Yes it is. Because if you die once, if you mess up once after like going through a ton of cutscenes and doing a bunch of annoying stuff having to defend this guy, you have to redo the whole area again and go through all those cutscenes and all those defense parts, even if you're right at the end. And, you know, I just have so many memories of like getting right there at the end and just having him, you know, cuck me and die like that. You know, it was never fun. That's all I'll say.
Like the money collectors, eh?
The next mission we'll be taking a look at is collect money bags for crew. Now this mission isn't necessarily bad, just like the SIG mission, because of difficulty. That's partly why it's so, I guess, like, low on the list, and it's only at number 9. Mainly because it's not hard, like, I can easily do it, but there's, like, nothing to it. There's no challenge to it. It's really just, like, it's kind of the opposite. It's too easy and there's nothing to it. And I like missions that find that perfect middle point. This mission definitely doesn't. It's just, you chase after money bags and that's it at a certain time. It's probably one of the most boring missions and there's no interesting thing to it whatsoever. And honestly, to me, that's almost just as much of a crime as having a horrendously difficult mission. And that's why it's on number 9.
I spent many a day cleaning up this place for old Greenie.
The next mission on our list is Destroy Drill Platform Tower. Now, I wouldn't say this mission's very hard or anything, but it's tedious, and I guess technically on this list I am going to include both this and the other mech mission, because honestly, they're both the same, and less because of difficulty, but more because of the bad controls in these mechs are, I don't know, like, they're all basically the same to me, especially that garbage underwater one. So I'm going to lump them all in the same list because the levels feel the same drab, bland, and boring, uninspired ones. And, you know, I don't feel like putting, like, all 3 of these levels in one list because that would just be, you know, overdoing it. But the mech missions are probably one of the most annoying parts of the game, and I wouldn't say it's the worst, but, like, the controls are just very awkward that I almost never want to do them whenever I'm, you know, doing that mission.
Valuable information for you. The Baron is conducting an excavation at the dig. He is still looking for that ridiculous tomb.
The next mission on our list is Destroy Equipment at Dig. Now this mission is really bad because I hear a lot of people complain about the jetboard in the Jak games, but honestly, for the most part, they handle it well. This mission is not a good example of that. They handle the jetboard very poorly. You have enemies that shoot out bombs and everything, and, you know, there's big dynamite things you gotta deal with, and there's, like, just a lot of obstacles in your way as you're trying to do it. There's also, like, a rail with the, you know, the strings to get the stuff on it that you have to grind on. And there's just bombs everywhere that you can't see. And sometimes when you try to get, like, the main cables that are holding onto that big machine over there, sometimes, like, you miss a few, and you'll have to go back. And it's really annoying because, like, in a jetboard mission, you'd want to mostly be able to ride on the jetboard. Not in this one. You have to fight a ton of enemies, you have to get through them, and, usually it just takes a while to even get to the point where you're jetboarding on there. And at that point, what's the use of using it? Because it just doesn't feel fun in this mission.
The Baron's coming down pretty hard. Whatever you've been doing, you've really upset him.
I'm just getting started.
The next mission on our list is destroy 5 Hellcat cruisers. Now, this mission is probably like the first one that's legitimately difficult for me to do sometimes. It's not impossible, but it's a pain in the ass to get these ships because, like, when you're trying to get these Hellcat cruisers, they'll shoot right at you, and it's kind of hard because they have like intense aiming things. So they're just like the other big Hellcats from, like, you know, the ones you usually deal with in most of the game, but now they're just loaded to the brim with, you know, ammunition and everything, and in a way it's almost a slog just to get through. And there's also like 5 of them that you have to get, and they make you drive like throughout the map just to get them. It's very similar to the Lurker mission with Brooder, but that one was a cakewalk. This one, though, you know, if you die, you gotta redo it and go through, like, you know, all the traveling and everything just to get him. And that's even if, like, you know, the other Crimson Guards don't, you know, kamikaze you or something, because that's also very likely as well.
Sorry. My bad.
Great! Now you've armed the whole lot! Don't move! On second thought, move! Far away! Go through the portal and drop 1 bomb into each eco-well before they all go off! You only have 2 minutes!
Ah, yes, blow up strip mine eco-wells. Everyone's favorite mission in Jak II. Not as hard as I remembered it, and that's why it's a bit higher on the list instead of, you know, in like 1 or 2 like it would have been a couple years ago. And it's mainly because I figured out the main way to do it, and, you know, it's mainly going for the first one, like all the way at the end by where you first rescued Vin, and then doing it. That doesn't change the fact that this mission is complete crap to do, and, you know, very tough challenge, honestly, because they don't, like, give you enough time to go through it, and you have to do a very specific strategy where, in reality, what they should have done is they should have given you different options and different paths to do rather than a specific one that they don't even tell you about. Because if you don't go for that one all the way at the end first, you're most likely not going to get it. At least that's what I've learned. I've never been able to get it, like, unless I did it that way, where I went through, like, the conveyor belt thing first. Overall, though, not as hard, but still a kind of bad mission on its own right.
Alright, boys, let's blow this sucker sky high.
Wait, who told you to... No!
Quiet, here comes...
Next mission on our list is Escort Men Through Sewers. You would think, like, getting 3 different people, like, to help you would be a lot. Like it would help compared to, like, say, with Sig, which was, you know, one that we had a little bit, you know, higher up on the list number-wise. This mission, though, these guys are so lazy. Like, none of them will attack. They'll only do the scripted things, and, like, they'll sometimes shoot them, but only, like, when enemies are super close and after they've drained, like, a ton of their health. It's so bad the way they do it, basically. And honestly, like, when you die, this is a big reason why it's so bad, is you restart from the beginning of the level after going through, again, kind of like the Sig mission, a lot of cutscenes, a lot of stuff, and then you just gotta redo it. It's honestly quite a ridiculous mission. There's even a really bad point where, like, you have, like, a whole swarm of them you have to shoot, and sometimes I die there. And when I die there, like I said, you have to redo everything. That's why this mission is so high up on the list.
Behold, the seal of Mar is now complete. Onan says the 3 artifacts you retrieved from the mountain temple are relics from an ancient light tower.
Now keep in mind, I'm never talking about difficulty with these. This mission by itself isn't very difficult. If you're just doing it casually, it's fine. But when you're trying to 100% it, it's really difficult. But that's not what I'm referring to. The main crux of why this mission is so bad is the fact that you have all these symbols. Some of them you can't even see, like when you're trying to do this button mashing minigame. And it's really a sad excuse of a rhythm minigame because they'll come out like all at once. You kind of can't tell because sometimes they'll make a few of them look like there's only one or there's only two, and then they'll randomly like shoot out ones really fast, like so that you get confused. And like right here, for example, there's so many of them at once that it's kind of hard to tell like which button you're pressing, and it really affects the senses because you can't tell like where's what, like the way they do it. It almost looks like it's in an arc, and it really is confusing. And for that, that's why it's so high up there with all these annoying symbols and the fact that you can only miss 20. And such a high goal point, like you have to get to 400, and you know, it's just really annoying to do, especially before an important mission like Mars Tomb.
Thank you very much. Mwah. I love my public.
Now, I hate to say it for this one, but this is going to be another lump, kind of like the mech missions I was talking about earlier, where I'm going to be including all of the class races because they are all like basically the same. Like it's all like one weird track you're going on. If you die, you have to redo it on a 5-lap race. That is ridiculous. These missions were always a slog to do, and I remember as a kid, like out of all of them, these were the ones I just couldn't do. Now, of course, I can do them now, but like these are one of the few missions in the game that actually give me a serious challenge. And not the good kind, the kind that's tedious where, you know, you have to restart everything if you fall or die at one point in it. And, you know, all three of them are annoying. There's always like a bad turn you get. There's a jump that you want to try to do, but you can't get it. These vehicles seem to rubber band. They'll always find the shortcuts that are difficult for you to do, because if you try the shortcut and explode, you redo everything, so why risk it, you know? And that really provides a lot of challenge in the bad kind of way. And that's why this mission's number 2, because it's just bullshit. And the fact that they make you do it 3 times in the game is honestly criminal.
Well, we don't have to wait for the big race. We can do this right now. One-on-one, through the city, using accelerator rings. Hit every ring from start to finish. Miss even one ring and it's over. Kira already thinks you're a loser, and I'll prove it now, once and for all. You're on.
Ooh, yep. Beat Erool in a race. This one is probably the absolute worst mission in the entire game. There's no debate about it. I'm honestly surprised that in a lot of top 10 Worst Jak II mission lists, they never mention this one. This one is the absolute god-awful worst mission in the game. If you miss one ring, as he said in the cutscene, it's over. You have to redo everything. Mission failed, basically. And there's obviously no checkpoints. I can understand that if the race was more forgiving. Like, if you missed 1 or 2 rings, that should be okay. They should have had, like, a deductible point system. He also rubber bands at you, so he's basically on your tail all the time. And if he passes you, sometimes you'll never catch up because he's just way too fast. And guess what? He doesn't even follow his own rules. That's the ridiculous part about the race. He'll miss a few himself, and, like, nothing will change. Like, he's just able to break the rules and skip a few, which is ridiculous in the game. He'll also run into guards, and it's hypocrisy, basically. And it's annoying, like, seeing the AI just be able to do the stuff that you would get a mission failed for, like that. Anyways, though, I guess that's why I dislike this mission. Thank you guys for watching this video. I had a really good and fun time making this, especially with the editing I did. I'm hoping to do more top 10 lists as well, and if you guys want to see more, let me know. That'd be greatly appreciated. Anyways, though, without further ado, that's it for this video. Have yourselves a good one, and I'm out. Peace.